What's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the Fantasy Flex podcast from the Action Network and Fantasy Labs. I'm your host, Chris Raybon, NFL Week 13. It's here. I'm joined by one of the most accurate rankers in the game in Sean Koerner. Sean, happy Thanksgiving. How you feeling heading into already Week 13?
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Feeling great. And yeah, this is there's no teams on bye. So hopefully you're not like adding guys to start this week. I think if anything, you're planning ahead to the playoffs. Hopefully, you're cruising to the playoffs with all the advice we've been giving you. But I think this week is like stash upside guys for the potential playoff run, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not the greatest quarterback streaming slate either. So yeah, that's gonna kind of if you've been kind of getting by streaming quarterbacks, could get a little dicey this week. But we'll talk about some options. But yeah, the big slate helps, and then you got four more teams, I believe, still to go on by in week 14, and then hopefully you got it sewed up. But we'll get to our quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defenses, and kickers. Quick reminder: all of our fantasy football content is available right now over on FantasyLabs.com. Fantasy Labs NFL includes in-season rankings, waiver wire, DFS tips, tools, models, and much more. And right now, our Black Friday sale is in effect. Fantasy Labs is 50% off for a monthly sub, so it's the best time to check it out. If you have not already, just go to FantasyLabs.com to sign up and get 50% off your first month. All right, let's start at quarterback for week number 13. Where are we looking?
Yeah. So again, hopefully, you're not streaming quarterbacks still, especially when no teams on bye. But maybe you have like a Daniel Jones who has a tough matchup this week, so you're just looking for a guy that's ranked higher. I like your guy better than my guy, but Sam Darnold's now available in 41% of leagues, so less than half. But he was probably dropped in quite a few leagues after that 4 interception game. But sure enough, he bounced back last week. Sure enough, he was just lobbing it up for JSN, and JSN was doing all the work. But Darnold bounced back. Has a decent spot this week against the Vikings, former team. So this is a revenge game spot for him. I'm sure he wants to step up against his old team. So I have Sam Darnold, right around QB 16, so not like a smash spot, but again, he was dropped in quite a few leagues, so maybe he's the top available quarterback out there. But Jacoby Brissett still available in 39% leagues. I don't know why, but if he's available, he's in my top 10 this week. I think he's been scooped up in pretty much every league, but again, kind of slim pickings this week in terms of QB streamers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure no one dropped Burrow, but obviously if he's available, some there are some leagues you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Where you just guys kind of go forgotten. But yeah, it's really tough week. It looks like everyone, all the top 15 quarterbacks are, at least in my rankings to open the week, are more than 50% owned. So I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence here. That is not a guy who makes me too comfortable. Really, nobody does, because Darnold. I mean, I worry about him too, to be honest. Just against that Minnesota team that's so familiar with him. So I don't mind kind of taking a shot. Like a guy like I think Dart is going to be back, but if Jameis starts again or somebody like that. But I'm going to go with Lawrence here just because he's going up against the Titans. The Jaguars haven't been good on the road, so this could be a closer game, more throwing than we might think here. And it's just not a great Titan defense. Now, Lawrence could get Brian Thomas back. We'll see this week. Still think they're going to want to rely on the run, but Lawrence has been giving you some rushing upside, some touchdowns as of late. So, yeah, ugly week, a lot of outdoor games. But, Lawrence, think he's probably that fringe. Him and Darnold are like those fringe top 15 guys, because you got Purdy at Cleveland. You got Caleb Williams at Philly. Dart's coming off the concussion. Cam Ward still's not there, even though he's running more. So yeah, it's just a tough week for quarterback streamers. But Lawrence and Darnold, I think, are the best of a shaky bunch. Where would you put Mayfield if he starts? Because I got Bridgewater in right now, but Mayfield he played through that injury before. He just wasn't good with Cleveland.
Yeah, I have him QB 21. I am projecting him in right now. I think he escaped like a significant injury, and he's a tough guy, so I wouldn't be shocked if he gets it out. But he seems like he's at risk of, an in-game setback. So even if he does play, hard to trust him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have him QB 21, but he constantly amazes me. But yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud might not return this week, so Mills might be in play. Max Brosmer, deeper
He's
leagues.
interesting. He's very
Yeah,
interesting.
right. Like I
he's
think
the best quarterback on their roster.
I've been
saying this
I
all
agree
year.
with you. I agree with you. I think people will be surprised. And yeah, I have some props surrounding him on our projections pod, but I think people will be surprised how much of an upgrade he is over McCarthy. I don't think it takes much, but he impressed me in preseason for sure.
Yeah, like I'm like the Vikings are. I'm absolutely betting them this week.
Yeah, what are they, plus 10 still?
Plus 10.5. I think that line could keep getting higher because I mean, once everyone just realizes like some no-name undrafted guy is starting, they're gonna be like, oh, Seahawks have been a juggernaut. So yeah, but not hard to be better. And this team has talent, so you'd be throwing at Jefferson and Addison and so yeah, Brosmer is DFS definitely worth some dart throws. All right, let's go to running back. Who do you like on the waiver wire at running back this week?
Yeah, so Kyle Monangai is available in 43% of leagues, which is probably 43% too many, in my opinion, because he's really forced pretty even timeshare with DeAndre Swift. And last week, he actually saw the most usage, even with Swift fully healthy. So this is really a hot hand type situation. So this is a tougher matchup against the Eagles this week. So he's, an RB 32 to open the week. So, more of a low end RB3 flex option, but there's going to be some times where he could offer RB2 value. If Swift ever misses time, I think he could push RB1 value. I think there was that 1 week. I think we were both projecting him like close to our top 10. So if Swift misses time, I think he would be a true workhorse back. So again, just one of those guys that's just available in way too many leagues, considering he's already offering value in, sort of a committee right now. And that brings me to the guy that's, the poster child for this is Tyler Algier, available in 56% of leagues. And this is actually a week where he is an RB3 flex option. They're facing the Jets, so I'm expecting a pretty run heavy game plan for them, which always helps Algier, raises floor a bit, tends to see a lot of goal line work too, despite backing up arguably the best running back in the league in Bijan Robinson. But again, talking about just upside for the fantasy playoffs, if Bijan were to ever miss time, Algier would be an RB1 most likely. So just one of those perfect RB3 flex guys with a ton of upside that he hasn't been able to cash in ever since Bijan entered the league a few years ago.
Yeah, man. It's like every week, it's like the guy who kind of had a down week the week before pops back up. It's like Singletary and Algier and Koerner was down this week, and yeah, it's gotta just stash these guys. You never know when you're gonna need them. I'm gonna go with Devin Neal here. He is 97% available. Looks like Alvin Kamara is gonna miss some time. Devin Neal should be the lead back here, and they do like him in the passing game. His snaps were ticking up even before Kamara got hurt. It was, kind of like a 60-40 thing going on in that backfield. Now, Taysom Hill will, I think, still mix in for a lot of the carries as well. So this is not like an Emmanuel Wilson spot last week where, Wilson was a top 10 running back. I think he ended up as my RB10 on the week. Neal is still just inside my top 24. So it's a little more conservative here, but you are going against the Miami Dolphins, who don't have a great run defense. And this Saints team, you traded Shaheed, you let go of Cooks. So Neal is really the guy I think you want to get more looks at. You're going to have Audric Estime. I know you like him for a long shot touchdown. He could mix in as well, especially short yardage. But I think Neal is going to probably get the first crack at just being that feature back because we've seen him play a lot of pass game snaps in kind of that Kamara role that we expected Kamara. It was Neal getting a lot of those snaps. So I think that in this spot, there's a chance for a blow up here. High variance. So again, not a super safe like Emmanuel Wilson where you knew he was going to get, 75% snaps and, in a good matchup. But still do like Devin Neal quite a bit. I think, especially at this stage, you're looking at a potential. They could shut Kamara down at this point. Who knows?
Yeah.
we don't know they were already thinking about doing it earlier. I think you pointed out that it seemed like at times they were kind of shutting him down. So yeah, Neal is a guy I definitely want on my roster.
Yeah, how much are you bidding for him? And where do you have him ranked in your initial raw dog?
So yeah, it's just inside the top
projections?
24. So he's, it's
Yeah.
not like Wilson was like top 10. That was once the week ended. But I would bid.
Because we don't
It's
know
tough.
for
I mean,
sure that Kamara's out. He's
yeah,
likely
but I
out.
mean, we said it about
So
Jacobs last week. It's like
yeah.
the writing seems like it's on the wall. Like if Kamara's hurt, I wouldn't think that they let him. I would think they kind of use that as an excuse to just see what they have in, because they were already trying to. Remember, they were trying to trade him, and then they seemed like they were taking snaps away from him. So I don't think that Koerner, with a injury, is going to be a guy that they're going to push to play. So I'm leaning towards I have Koerner projected out already, but I agree. It's a tricky situation, but at the same time, you are, what is it? Yeah, we're week 13, so I would probably bid. I don't know.
I think if you're in win now mode and he
Yeah.
would be in your starting lineup this week, you should be the one being more aggressive with him. Whereas if you're coasting the playoffs, I think he could, like you said, they could shut Kamara down, but you're kind of taking that risk on a week where he's probably going to warrant a decent bid, because I think he's the clear top ad this week. So it's one of those situations. It kind of depends where you are in the standings and like if you're fighting to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, I would say like 20% is fine, because there's a good chance that he is a top 24 back this week. Again, I just don't see them pushing Kamara with the injury. We've seen teams do this when it's like they have a chance to put a guy to kind of shelve a guy. They do, and I mean, it was Kamara. It was like the splits were like 55, 45, 60, 40 in favor of Kamara over these past few weeks. And then he got hurt, and Neal's just continued to trend up. So yeah, I'm projecting him out, but again, stay tuned. But I would give good 20% bid, and if you really need him for this week, I'd probably just go as high as 50. I mean, you don't know you're going to get many more running backs. There's only four more teams on bye in week 14. This is the week that if you don't have a guy for this week, probably the best you're going to do. All right, wide receiver. There are some options here. Wide receiver is always a dime a dozen. That's why we always recommend that running back is the priority. But who do you like at wide receiver, Koerner?
Yeah, I like Christian Watson, who's still available in just over half league, so 52%. But he's operating as the wide receiver one for the Packers right now. Had a season high 88% routes run rate last week. Saw a team high 7 targets. So, he cashed in with the 5-catch, 49-yard game. He always offers, a very high ceiling. He's a spike week kind of player, but in this role, he is offering a higher floor than usual for him. But this is just a great spot for him against the Lions, who use man coverage at the second highest rate. Last year, he had the 5th highest routes per run rate against man coverage. This year, it's slightly down, but still 15th in the league among qualified wide receivers. And last year, he got 4 catches for 114 yards against them. So I just think this is a great matchup for him. And again, wide receivers are a dime a dozen, but he's an excellent wide receiver 4 flex kind of guy to have on your bench, because again, if you're like an underdog, I love playing him in those spots because he can offer you a higher floor now, but he has massive upside. And I always like getting that for my last wide receiver slot if I can. So Watson, if you need a high upside play, I think he's well worth the ad. And Luther Burden III, still available in 89% of leagues. He is the clear number 3 receiver right now. He has fully overtaken Zacchaeus. He's my wide receiver 50 this week. This isn't a great spot against the Eagles, but he's, in a Dunze or DJ Moore injury away of being, potential wide receiver 2-3 type option. He's a rookie with a ton of upside. He just ended up on a team where he was kind of buried on the depth chart, but he's a guy that I have my eyes on in, deeper leagues, like more of a league winning stash kind of play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Burden, it's weird because I think I started the week down on DJ Moore. Ended up being a little bit higher, I guess, than I thought I would be. And I mean, he bailed me out, but it's hard to trust anybody in this Chicago offense. They want to run the ball. Dunze has been trending down. I think Burden would be the guy. Him and Loveland, like those are the guys that you'd expect to kind of trend up down the stretch. Those rookies continue to get more involved. I'm gonna go with Andre Yosevach. Don't mind Mitchell Tinsley as well, at least for this week, just because you're gonna have Higgins out now. So essentially, you're swapping in Chase for Higgins, and that means Yosevach is again going to be the number 2 receiver. You're going up against Baltimore, high total game. I do think you could see some rust with Burrow, but at the end of the day, defenses are going to sell out to stop Chase, and that's why you're going to see Yosevach with single coverage. You're going to see Tinsley with single coverage. And I know Gesicki came back, and I was worried about Tinsley and Yosevach because the Bengals could just go to multi-tight end heavy personnel looks, but it seemed like they just kind of cut down Noah Fant's snaps. He was operating as the lead tight end, so I think you could still see, especially in the red zone or in opponent's territory, like Tinsley, Yosevach with Chase, Gesicki, and then the running back. That would probably be the best red zone options, or your guy Tanner Hudson maybe in for Gesicki. But the point is, I still think you could see these wide receivers very involved. Charlie Jones got a target early in the game, but only about a 17% route rate. So it's going to be Yosevach as that clear number 2, and then Tinsley, I think, as that number 3, in that Higgins role. So Tinsley has a lot of upside too. He could end up being that 95% routes run guy over Yosevach, but I think Yosevach, just because he's more established, we're gonna go. I think he's a safer ad, but if you're an underdog, you just need a big upside. Mitchell Tinsley, I mean, he could go like 3 for 101 and 2 touchdowns or something like that, right?
Yeah,
almost like Zay Weaver never did, but like you know what I mean. It's like kind of like that because he's like Tinsley's a lot better than Zay Weaver. He's like I'm trying to think of he's like T Higgins. He's like a poor man's T Higgins almost.
Yeah, well, yeah, and again, Burrow potentially being back, I think elevates everybody. Not that Flacco wasn't, slinging it around, but Burrow should lead them to more touchdowns, I think. So I think it just raises everybody.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't even know how much Joe Burrow can elevate them over Flacco just in terms of like straight up numbers. But yeah, I mean, he's clearly an elite quarterback, and Flacco is 40 plus. So you would think, but yeah, Yosevach just always been a solid guy for the Bengals, and I know they love Tinsley as well. Tight end, who are we looking at? There are some options here, sneaky, but there are some options who we like.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of good options, but I'm going to stick with my guy AJ Barner here, still available in 82% of leagues, although probably going to get dropped after last week's dud. He only caught 2 passes for 18 yards. Fully expected him to kind of come back down from earth from that 10 catch game, but you got to remember there's only a handful of tight ends out there that can like consistently provide you with 4+ catches a game, and they're all taken. So you kind of just have to roll with the punches when it comes to this. But the reason I like Barner is he's out there, operating as a clear lead tight end. But he does, operate as the ball carrier in their tush push play. So I think over the rest of the season, he's going to have a couple more rushing scores at the goal line. So, again, that's similar upside as, Taysom Hill, but he's out there way more as a pass catcher. So I think he has, a pretty solid floor ceiling combo for a tight end that's widely available. So he's definitely worth a dice throw if you're looking to just make a splash move for the rest of the season. I still like Barner's potential. And yeah, he opens the week as my tight end 13. So he's right on the cusp of tight end 1 value for me.
Yeah. Barner, let's see. I think he's around the same for me. Yeah, tight end 18, but he's right there. I mean, Vikings, I always kind of upgrade tight ends against the Vikings because they've just been, it's just kind of the way their scheme is. Opponents tend to want to play a lot of tight ends to have extra guys against the blitz. So Arroyo probably for touchdown markets and stuff like that, interesting as well. But I do.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I have less than a point separating my tight end 11 to tight end 21. So there's just a ton of guys in it, and Darren Waller might be returning soon. So there's just a ton of good tight end 2 type options in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kate Otton's still around. Who knows who the quarterback's going to be? But Chig is trending up. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys for me as well there. The guy I'm going to talk about, Brenton Strange, I think he's interesting because He came back last week, played about his normal 70% route rate, and this Jaguar offense. I mean, I think they might have to throw more than people think against Tennessee. I know Tennessee's a bad run D, but Jacksonville's just been playing in all these close games on the road. I mean, they had that 1-point overtime 30-29 game against the Raiders. They had the game last week in overtime against the Cardinals. The 26-21 Niners game, just the 31-27 Browning game, 36-29 Davis Mills in Houston game. So, I mean, they've been some shootouts for the Jaguars, even in division games on the road. So I like Brenton Strange, 83% available. And, he's a guy that we like coming into the year. And this Jaguars receiving core, I know it's kind of trending up as well, but that's just going to take all the coverage away from him, because you got to pay attention to the backs and the receivers more than you do Strange. And then, he's a guy who can get some explosive plays. And I think he's been underutilized in the red zone. I mean, it's been all Hunter Long, if I'm not mistaken, in the red zone, but he's banged up. Who knows if he's even going to be back, but Strange with the 93-yard game, his best game of the year last week on 5 targets. He had 2 6-catch games in the 2 games before going down against the Chiefs in that early October game, but the last 2 games before that, 7 targets, 6 catches for 45 against the Niners, 7 targets, 6 catches for 61 against the Texans. And then he had a 59-yard game on the opening week. So a lot of good yardage games. So you talk about guys that, could get you 4 catches. Well, Strange has gotten you 4 catches in 4 out of 6 games, 4 out of 5 healthy games. So I want to take a shot on him. Rest of the year could be a guy that is valuable in the fantasy playoffs. You got the Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts. So 3 of 4 pretty decent matchups even after the Titans down the stretch. All right, defense, special teams. Where are we going?
Yeah, I think this is a great week for streaming defenses. Love your pick. I like the Jaguars as well, who face the Titans, which is always going to be a solid streaming slot. I think Josh Hines-Allen would not shock me if he gets multiple sacks here against Cam Ward. He's playing at a high level, potentially force some turnovers, maybe get a pick 6, but Jaguars open the week inside my top 5 at number 4.
Yeah, this is one of those. I feel like the Titans are probably underrated too. I mean, the way the Jags been turning the ball over, right? It's like, and Shimray DK, the minute you get off of him, he comes. So he can do it. But you gotta. The Titans have been they've been very giving to opposing defenses. So don't mind that at all. Even though I do think the Jags probably get into like a little chaotic kind of game script here. I'm gonna go with the Chargers, and this is just a matchup of 2 teams that can't block anybody. But the Chargers are at home, coming off long rest. I expect them to be able to do some things against the Raiders, who, I mean, thank goodness. I mean, wasn't I calling it out a couple weeks ago when they came off the bye and they benched their rookies? Like, who does that? Who signs Tyler Lockett after Amari Cooper was just like, nah. Like, they're just, I mean, I don't know what they're doing.
Carroll's too old to worry about some rebuild. He wants to win now. Wants to win a game.
Yeah, you want to win now, so hire the NFL's hottest offensive coordinator from 2013. Like, what? And then you got Greg Olsen back.
Yeah, how do you think that's going to change their approach? Are they going to be more pass heavy, more run heavy, more like balance? I mean, like, do you think it's going to change much at all?
I think they're going to definitely probably try to run the ball more, because teams have been able to do that against the Chargers. And Genty, I mean, they've been trying to get him the ball in the passing game, and they can't block anybody, but they got more gadget plays, just more deep shots to Tucker and Thornton, max protect, and probably a shorter leash on Geno. I would think, right? O'Connell's healthy.
Oh yeah,
and,
I was going to ask where do you have the Chargers ranked right now?
Like, just in.
For
power ratings 13. Or in DST? Let's see.
Yeah, just week. Because I have them number 1,
2.
Number 2. So let's say they just fired Chip Kelly. Greg Olsen's calling plays. Let's say they bench Geno Smith and my guy, Officer Farva, AOC, Aiden O'Connell's under center. Are you bumping them down at all, or just leaving them
That's a good.
So,
I got to because like AOC, I know he has some. What is his thing that he does bad sacks, right? I gotta because Gino's been so bad. I gotta look at
it
my
depends
priors.
on the week. He could
Yeah.
get sacked 8 times, like 10 times like Gino last week, or he could put up 66 points like he did on the Chargers on that random Thursday night game.
Oh
After
yes.
that 0-0 tie went to overtime, he has the widest range of outcomes. But I think they would still be my number one ranked defense because he does take quite a few sacks.
Okay, so he's his Gino because of this season. Gino's interception rate has moved higher than O'Connell's and Pickett's in my model. Let's see the sacks now. And yeah, Gino has also moved higher in sacks because he's taken a sack on 10.4% of dropbacks. So yeah, like Pickett and O'Connell are both high, especially behind this offensive line. But I mean, Gino just had such a terrible year that he surpassed in terribleness Aiden O'Connell and Kenny Pickett somehow.
Yeah, no,
so,
I'm last year, Aiden O'Connell, his pressure to sack rate was 12%, which is elite. That's very low. I just remember that first game I had money on him where he took like 8 sacks. But I guess ever since then he's gotten much better at avoiding sacks.
He's getting pressured on literally 100% of dropbacks with this offense.
That is true. That is very true.
That's the issue. So yeah, but no, I point taken. Like I think it might be an upgrade. Just same thing with Brosmer versus McCarthy. It's like he's been so bad that even if you just plug in the default like generic base rates for like an undrafted quarterback making his first start, it's still like okay, like 6 yards an attempt. It's like better than McCarthy.
Absolutely. Doesn't take much. Kendall Hinton might be the only quarterback that would be worse than JJ McCarthy right now.
Kendall Hinton, maybe like a Nate Peterman, Hackenberg.
Tim Boyle.
Oh man, no, Tim Boyle's way better than McCarthy. Come on now. He got multiple starts in the NFL with
which is insane.
Like different teams picked him up. Yeah, I know. He was the clipboard holder for Rodgers. I think that probably bought him some stuff. Where's our guy Jake Driscoll at these days? I feel like he could probably be better than some of these guys. Did I say Drake? Yeah, Jeff, not Jake. Jake is I think a tackle. Yeah, Jeff Driscoll, the running he's Felipe Franks around. Type guy. Yeah,
he's somewhere. He and Sam Ellinger are on somebody's practice squad.
Gotcha. All right, kickers. Where are we going for week 13?
This is a no-brainer for me because I'm sticking with a thicker kicker. Harrison Mevis, still available in 99% of leagues. Although I bet he warrants like a dollar bid in some leagues. Because like I said, his first 2 games kicking with the Rams, all he did was kick extra points. He had 9 of them. So they're going to provide him with a high floor. Like he's going to get a handful of extra points every week. But last week, he finally saw his first field goal attempts and he drilled a 52-yarder where, again, he made a 61-yarder in college. He was very accurate from 50-plus yards. So I think he's going to be an excellent kicker. He's on one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. And, he's playing outdoors this week at Seattle. So I would, see, where the hell is he?
Carolina.
At Carolina. So
no wind.
I haven't seen the weather. No wind, no rain.
5 miles per hour as of now. Rain is a little bit rain, but like it's like low chance of rain, and then only 5 mile per hour wind. But what was that thing you told me that like blew my mind about the forecast? Now,
the percent chance. Yeah, like I always thought percent chance of rain was like a money line. Like if it's 50%, it's like it's minus 110 both ways if it'll rain. But no, it means it's 100% chance it's gonna rain. It's just the coverage is 50%. It's like some like formula like that.
Why are you charging 10% vig on a weather bet? So like, why is it minus 110?
Should it be 15 cents?
I mean, no, it should be nothing.
Like an exchange. Yeah, well, I think
weren't we betting on the weather in COVID? Honestly, I feel like our guy Blackjack Fletcher and found us like a site that we could bet on the weather. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think he still can, but I digress. And again, wind is the most important thing. Even if it sprinkles a bit, I don't really, downgrade kickers too much. It's wind is the issue. So if there's no wind there, great. Having said that, the only outdoor game he has left is week 16 at Seattle. So the Rams already had their bye week in week 8. So I think he's worth, a $1 bid to just have a top 5 kicker the rest of the way if you don't even want to bother streaming. So I think thicker kicker could be like a long-term solution for people that just want to have their kicker through the playoffs.
Yeah, he's my kicker 5, and that's even with obviously got to project the Rams for a lot of extra points. Not always going to be a field goal type of team, but yeah, he is popping in the model. Borregales for the Patriots is popping in the model as well. He's number 6, and this is an outdoor game, so definitely check the weather. But it's just the Patriots still are projected for a high team total. We've seen the Giants kind of get into these shootouts. And the Patriots could actually stall out a little bit more because their offensive line is in shambles right now. You got Campbell out, and I believe another one of the interior linemen is banged up as well. So not all these drives may end up in touchdowns with Drake May this week. And this Giants team has been hanging around in games. So I think this could be a more field goal-esque type of game for the Patriots. Again, check the weather. But right now, Borregales is just one spot behind Mevis. So he's my kicker number 6 on the week. I mean, oh my God, where were you on? Where'd you rank Blake Groupie last week? Because I could not believe my eyes. This guy was so terrible
down there. Did you see they brought in?
He's done now. He's cut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they
Cade York, I believe they signed. They signed Cade York. Yeah. Oh, let me update that in our sheet. Yeah, because I know people would probably.
They didn't.
Cade York.
So they didn't sign Justin Tucker.
No,
he's still out there. Okay.
Cade York.
Good to know.
Yeah, probably for the best. What are they going to do? Like, where do they really need Justin Tucker for? It's like they're not like 2-9.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for our Week 13 waivers episode. We'll also have the player projections episode this week. We're going to skip the DFS just so we can get everything else out. But we do have the touchdown show coming out early this week over on the Action Network podcast as well. Been hitting some touchdowns lately, so be sure to check that out with our guy Jill Gallant. Fantasy Labs app for all of our projections, DFS tools, models, and more. And you can find Sean on X at @_oddsmaker. I am at Chris Raybon. Be sure to follow Playbook as well for AI bet slip building. Until next time, let's get this shmoney. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. And if you got it, let's give this shmoney as well.